Our blueberry plants are starting to take on a bit of their fall color, and this reminds me I need to prepare our small fruit garden for winter. All of our small fruit plants can benefit from a layer of winter mulch, and this is particularly important if we mulch around the crown or the growing point of our plants, and that'll protect it from cold temperatures during the winter months. Now this is true for our blackberries here, as well as our grapes, our kiwis, raspberries, and blueberries. Now after we get our first killing frost, we want to go in and replenish the mulch by adding a really nice thick layer, about 4 inches, around the base of our plants. And what we want to do though, if you have voles or mice in your landscape and they tend to be a problem, pull that mulch back just a little bit from the trunks, and that'll avoid creating a nice habitat for these critters to feed on. Now we also need to think about what our strawberry plants need for protection. Strawberries we usually insulate with a layer of straw mulch, but we don't want to apply this until mid-December, and the reason is the plants need to go through several hard frosts, and what that does is increase their cold hardiness so that they could survive through the winter. Now when we do apply our mulch in around mid-December, what we're trying to do is protect this growing point down in here. Strawberries are pretty shallow rooted, and we want to insulate this soil around here, because what happens is the soil freezes and it thaws and it heaves or pushes up, and that can push these growing points up out of the soil, and then they're exposed to cold temperatures. Now additional benefits of mulching our strawberries is that we're protecting them from drying winds, and we can also delay some of the development in the spring, in particular flowering, and what that could do is help us avoid a late frost that kills the blossoms. Passion fruit vines are a little bit more sensitive to cold temperatures. They tend to die back all the way to the ground after we've had a few hard frosts. Now, we had our first frost of the season last night, and you could see it kind of settling on the leaves here, and that's going to kill the plant, but as long as there's green leaves and some energy and sugars moving through, the plant will continue to ripen any fruits that are still hanging on the plant, and they're ripe when they look more like this. They have a wrinkly skin and they've turned a little bit yellow. So this is a fully ripened passion fruit. Well, once we've had a few frosts and the foliage dies back, we're going to go ahead and cut back the foliage out of the top of the plant, and we're going to cut it all the way to the ground. There's kind of a cumbersome vine here. We'll get that cleaned out, and you want to cut it back fairly low, because we're just going to come in and protect this with some mulch. Let's get that cut back. Okay, so you can see I'm down to just a little stump here, and I'm going to prune that stem, this one, out as well. I don't want a lot of material sticking up above. And then what we're going to do is come in and put a really thick blanket of mulch on here. We want to insulate that over the winter. And you can use an organic material like this pine bark or some straw, but really layer it on there, and that's going to insulate and keep this area warmer throughout the winter months. Well, once we finish mulching the rest of our small fruit plants, our plants will be ready to withstand the cold temperatures for winter.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.